Hey guys, so on today's installment of Facebook advertisement finds, I'm going to be testing out the original 2.0 Rapid Dry Towel for you. All right, this is from rapiddrytowels.com. I also have their Mach 2 Speed Car Wash Towel, also from rapiddrytowels.com, same company. And then their Rapid Car Shampoo. In fact, if you saw my original video, it'll be linked in the description below with the black line. I recommended that if you could find the towels on sale, they were an exceptional find or buy, whatever you want to call it. However, that foam cannon was definitely a do not buy. So let's see how these three stand up to my testing here. I'm just going to go do a quick wash with you today. Test this out in a foam cannon and in the bucket. I'm going to show you kind of a little upside and downside of this Mach 2 car wash thing. And then I'm going to show you this towel here, because this thing is a monster. So anyway, having said that, let's get over the bucket, let's get over the foam cannon, let's get going. All right guys, so we have approximately 4 gallons of water in the bucket there. And what the directions on this, now this is very, very, very weird. All right, because it says bucket, start with 1/2 ounce, mix 1/2 ounce per gallon or 1/2 ounce or more. Shampoo per gallon of water. So I'm just going to do a 1/2 ounce because once you do a foam rinse foam method, you really don't need a whole lot of soap. You kind of just need it there for lubrication. So we're just going to add a 1/2 ounce per gallon. So in our case, we have, all right, there we go. So in our case, we have 2 ounces of product, and I'm going to dump this in now. I will say, just FYI, this is very thick. You can see it's still like kind of, you know, in fact, there you go, it didn't all pour out. So we're gonna swish that around a little bit there. And then the other thing too is in the foam cannon, now this is really weird, okay, because in the foam cannon it says apply foam to a dry car for best results. All right, no problem there. And it says use 2 ounces to 6 ounces per gallon. Well, we don't mix gallons in the foam cannon. It says add more for extra foam. And it says this is lens dependent. Now, leave for 4 to 5 minutes or rinse immediately if you use, or if you see foam drying. Rinse from the bottom up. Seems simple, okay? Now, in my testing, what I found is that 1 ounce per every 500 ml or 1 ounce per 16 ounces works best in the foam cannon. So, or not best, but it provides me decent foam and a decent, you know, we uses not a ton of product. Let's put it that way. So in this, I have 1,000 ml, and I don't know if you could see the level right there. So I have 1,000 ml in the foam cannon, and I added 2 ounces of product, or 60 ml. So that is what we have for our foam cannon mix. And I am using the MJJC Pro V3, which is, like, to me, this is the best foam cannon on the market today. Because I want you to see, in fact, before we even get to washing, I need to show you something with this. Because they claim that it's a certain size, right guys? So let me show you this. So if we lay it out, this is as big as it is, right? So we lay it out. Now, what they're claiming on the advertisements, in fact, here you go, on the left side of the screen there, you could see what their claim is. Basically 2.5 feet by 1.5 feet. Well, 2.5 feet, that's 30 inches. 1.5 feet is like 18, or actually 1.6 feet would be like 19 inches, something like that. Check this out. All right. That's not, all right, that's not 30. No, no, no. In fact, that's not even 24. And check this out. That's not 18 either. That's only 12 inches. So what's the deal? They advertise on the website. They advertise 2.5 by 1.6 feet and 75 millimeters or 75 cm by 50 cm, which equates to the 2.5 by 1.6. Well, if you scroll way down, and I'm showing you the website here, but if you scroll way down, you could see in the item description, they actually have the correct size of the towel right here on the description. However, this is not a mistake on their part, because they put the much larger size in big bold letters, and as you could see in the follow-up here, when they send you a thank you and ask you to review it, they still say that it's the much bigger size. If we do a 23-inch by 12-inch size, how does this wash? And is this size, maybe the other size would be way too big, maybe this size is way too big, or maybe this size is small and we wish it was much bigger. We'll find out, or I will show you. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you. To me, in my opinion, they're absolutely lying to you when they give you these measurements, because they know they buried the actual size in the description. However, in the big, bold media print and in the marketing, they use a much larger size. And so to me, that is a very deceptive practice. All right, guys, so now that you've seen the size of this towel and why it might be a concern if you were going to order one, let's see how well this actually foams with the amount that we put in there. Let's check it out. Okay, it creates tons of foam, no issues whatsoever. All right, so we'll put this in here. So we'll stuff that in there, we'll grab our foam cannon, and we will get to foaming the car. Here we go with our foam cannon again. 2 ounces per 1,000 ml in here. Let's go. Or 60 ml per 1,000 ml, or 2 ounces into 32 ounces or 30 ounces. However you want to mix it, that's the approximate ratio that's in this foam cannon. All right, so just so you guys can see, all right, the foam actually does come out nice and thick. No issues there. In fact, let me just do this. It's not exactly like shaving cream foam, but it does stick very well to the panel. This whole car, except for the rear end, is ceramic coated. So this is actually sticking really good. And if we move down a little bit, it's starting to where it went on a little bit thicker. It's getting a little bit runny. But I just kind of wanted to break in and show you that. And then the glass here, all right, I didn't put it on super thick, but it's still sticking into the glass. This glass is also coated with a ceramic coating. So let's keep going with the foam. All right, guys, so I took my time and I have 600 ml left in this bottle. There's the 500 ml mark and there's the 600 ml mark. I have 600 ml left in this bottle. Now what we're going to do, we did a foam, okay, we actually applied it. We're gonna rinse so that we get any of that dirt or grass that was on the car. We're gonna get that all off of here. I had a whole lot of dust and a whole lot of like grass clippings that were stuck to the car. I don't wanna like go into that with my car wash towel. I just want to take that all off. So now we do a rinse. All right, so you can see the rinse is going fairly easy so far. In fact, if I do on the roof, you can see it rinses fairly easy. And the same thing if I'm on the door over here. And there's just a little bit left over where I didn't hit it, but otherwise, rinses very easily. All right, so the whole car has been rinsed. Now it's time to reuse or use up the rest of our 600 ml that we started with. We're gonna apply another layer of foam to act as lubrication for the actual wash process. Okay guys, now in order for you to get a true scale, here's the hood. Here is the falsely advertised washed towel there, or wash mitt, whatever you want to call it, wash, whatever. It literally takes up, width-wise, it takes up a full 1/3 of the hood. So really, if I just go like this, that's 1/3 of the hood. All right, I'm coming back like this. And now literally the entire hood is done. I mean, that is, I don't know how you can get faster. Like, that is insane. And same thing on the windshield. All right, there we go, half the windshield. If I go up on the roof, same deal. If I put it across, all right. And this is actually what I've used this on my SUV. This thing is awesome for the roof because I kind of sling it across there like a drying towel and pull it back. And then same thing, I sling it across and pull it back. Now, I use this side here. I use the non-noodle side because to me, this actually feels better going across. It actually feels a little bit slicker on the surface, but it's up to you. So we do one side, and I mean, look at this. It completely wraps around the mirror. But I could use one side for that, and then I could flip it over and actually use the noodle side then on the lower portion of the car. So anyway, I kind of wanted to give you a proportion size and kind of an idea of how how big this thing actually is, even though it's like kind of falsely advertised as a larger size than it really is. Like, I mean, if you do this, you hold one side up, I'm doing literally the entire quarter panel with one swipe. But I just had new tires put on this car and I didn't clean them or anything. So they had all that junk that, like, there's always like a sticky residue for like shipping and mold, like mold release and things like that. And I haven't scrubbed these down or put any type of dressing on them. And after it's been 3 days now. Everything on there was turning brown from all the driving and dust and road conditions. It was all turning brown. And I had not actually cleaned my rims in quite some time. And this soap, it's not advertised as like a good cleaner or anything like that, but it completely removed any of that browning, all that dirt. There's still some of that mold release on the tire. You could obviously see that, I believe. But what really shocked me, in fact, on video there, you didn't even see me wash the rims because I didn't. And yet they are surprisingly clean. I didn't like try and hammer them with the wash wand or anything like that. They just came out actually surprisingly clean. They're not ceramic coated. They're not even coated with like a like drying aid with like ceramic in it or anything like that. That's just how they came out. And if I go to a different tire, so if I go to my front tires, I have newer brakes on this car. Front tires, same way. There's still some of that mold release, but they look much better than they did. And there is like, the rims are extremely clean. In fact, if I'm doing this, all right, I'm not getting any dirt really on my finger there. All right, guys, now that the car's been rinsed, let's check out the pure magic of the original 2.0 drying towel. Now, as I'm opening this up, I do want to tell you, this is a 70-30 blend. I have confirmed this through correspondence with the company owner, president, whoever you want to call him. All right, I have confirmed this is a 70-30 blend. He claims it's a proprietary blend, and I completely believe him on that. It's roughly 500 GSM, so it's not the thickest towel in the world, but this blend, this weave, is like no other. All right, you could see it's kind of like not quite a herringbone pattern, but it's it's a very tight weave, and it's extremely soft. It also has stitching around the border. All right, and when you first buy this, it actually comes with a tag on one of these corners, and you just take the tag and you rip it off, and then you like wash it and you're all good. But I want to show you the sheer size of this thing, so you can see physically just how big this towel is in relation to the hood of the car there. It is absolutely giant. It takes up more than 2/3 of the car or the hood. So really, when you put this down on here, all right, I mean, it's just like that. The entire front end is dry. And I do the same thing. Windshield, I mean, it literally just goes across. And that's dry. Throw it back over. And where this thing really shines is being able to throw it across the entire roof like this, pulling it back, doing it one more time. All right, just like that. A couple more times there, okay. The whole top of the car is literally dry. Now the other thing about this weave, you could see me going over these emblems. They don't snag. All right guys, really quick. So this goes further across, but if I take this, all right, I'm stretching this across. In fact, let's go from a corner. Okay, there's 40 inches. To the next corner, I get 58 inches. Okay, they say 60. I've dried it a few times, washed and dried, so it might have affected it, but literally 58, over 58 inches. And if I go, let me move the towel again so that we can get a good idea. So if I go from the top corner up here down to the bottom, 29.5 inches right there. So this towel is absolutely giant, and it works like a giant towel would work. Being able to do the entire like top of the car just by throwing it up there and pulling it down. This works twice as fast as any other towel. The other thing too, because of the size, I was not leaving any streaking behind. You know, with smaller towels, a lot of times you could get streaking left behind. Now, the only downside of this, in fact, let's just go to my final thoughts and I'll cover everything with my final thoughts. All right, so here's my final thoughts on these three products. This wash soap, this Rapid Car Shampoo is actually better than a lot of other shampoos out there as far as dilution ratio, stuff like that. Some of these other ones, they literally tell you use 1 ounce per gallon, and they only sell them in 16-ounce containers, which, I mean, like in a car wash, and then they don't even foam all that well in a foam cannon. So, you know, when we're going through this, I only used 2 ounces in a foam cannon and then 2 ounces in a bucket. So I'm going to get out of this container here, I'm going to get 4 full car washes. Now, that is not cheap by any means, because I think it averages out to something like $1 an ounce. So that's $4 in soap. If you're buying the towels and you can add this on, or maybe you need to get to a certain level, spend level, to get free shipping, give it a shot. Why not? All right, so we covered the soap there. Now this towel, again, this towel is absolutely massive. To me, I mean, you know, it's this thing is giant. You know, how can I hold this up so you see the sheer size of this thing, okay? This towel is absolutely giant. It will easily do an SUV after a full car wash, not just a rinseless wash, but a full wash, it'll do an SUV. I love this towel. I don't think it should be any thicker because it can start to get heavy. The other thing too is it's almost so big that it actually starts like, you got to be really, really careful not to drag it on the bottom. In fact, for me to keep from dragging it on the ground when I'm doing the sides, I have to bunch up a good like 2 feet in my hand. And I still have 3 feet of towel, all right, to go on the door, to go on the side. Because of the sheer size and because of how it soaks up water, the weave, it holds onto the water. You don't need to like squeeze it out. You're never gonna run into that, okay? If you got the money, you wanna spend some money, this thing is an absolute buy for me. I love this thing. And because of the size, you can hang dry it on a line or something, and it's gonna actually dry pretty quick, or much quicker than those heavier GSM towels, because it is much thinner and it's bigger, there's more surface area, right? All right, so the last thing I'm gonna get to is this wash mitt or wash towel, whatever you wanna call it. All right, this thing holds a ton of water. This thing holds a ton of water. Now, is it the size they claim? No. They lied about the size. In fact, if you do the math on how big this is versus the size that they claim, this is actually 50% of the size that they claim. and you saw just how quick it goes across the surface. As well as this works on horizontal surfaces, it is a complete pain to use on vertical surfaces. In my use, because again, you have to almost use this like a drying towel. You have to hold it and go along the bottom edge, or you have to physically fold this and hold it a certain way in order to not drag it on the ground. So I'm glad that it's not the size that they advertise or the size that they claim. However, and this is just an idea of rapid dry, if you're seeing this, what would be really cool is some of these that are like 8x8. If you took this, the same material, same everything on this, and made a bunch of 8x8 pads, hear me out, 8x8, sell them in a 3 or 4 pack. That way you could put 3 or 4 in the bucket, you just toss them on the car, similar to auto fiber flat outs, which I absolutely love. Now, as far as cost goes on this is relatively expensive. I probably wouldn't buy another one of this size anyway, just because of the cost. But I will say if they came out with a smaller one, a bunch of those 8x8s in a pack of 3 or 4, I would be the first one to actually test them out to try it, because that would be handheld size. That would be awesome for going around fenders, the bottom of the bumpers, trunks, things like that, bottom of doors. That type of size would be perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect for doors. So anyway, guys, and again, I am not, in fact, if I didn't say this originally, I bought this with my own money. I wasn't sent this to test out. In fact, the company never even asked me to provide any feedback in video form or anything like that, other than the emails that they send me wanting me to leave a review on their website, just like they would send to any customer. So I just want to say, guys, you know, if you're in the market for a good towel, check out the Rapid Dry Towel. That 2.0 is absolutely fantastic, especially if you have a bigger vehicle. This wash pad is kind of hit or miss for me. If I never used it again, I'd be okay with it. But if I had to use this for a bunch of washes, I'd be okay with that too. And then that soap. There are better soaps on the market. But again, if you're buying everything from one place, go ahead, give it a try, test it out. If there's a gallon jug available for any less expensive money, to where it brings it down to less than $1 an ounce, maybe 50 cents an ounce, I think you'd be really good with that, because it does do an okay job in a foam cannon even. So anyway, guys, I just want to say thank you for watching, and until the next video, or until my next Facebook advertisement video comes out, you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.